prayers go out to those families and people who may have lost members of the family over there too.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are way more important than a basketball game. But we are set for the tip, and Joakim deflects it, and the Bulls are going to have the first possession.
This Washington team comes in a little short-handed without Gilbert Arenas, but still a deadly team. You have two All-Stars, Jamison and Caron Butler, that are the leaders of this team, and expect them to try to basically get this team back on track.
Yeah, Jamison's been trying to carry him almost by himself. Caron Butler, who I think is a wonderful player, Jamison missing short, has had a tough year. He just hasn't been able to get it going.
Well, he hasn't been healthy. Early this season, he missed a few games due to some injuries, his legs, ankle. But, you know, he's back now. And without Gilbert Arenas, you know, they need those two guys to be the anchor of his team.
Boy uncorks one from outside. The Wizards are 0 for 2.
One of the good things about the Bulls defense, like you talked about in the open, Neil, they held 4 or 5 opponents under 90, and this team is 0-8, and they don't score 90 or more.
That man right there has been very aggressive at the offensive end. As Rose rebounded his own miss and scored in a quick 20-second timeout.
Well, you can see Flip Saunders not really happy with the start of this game, especially on the road.
And the Bulls unhappy with one of the officials about something, and I'm not sure. I guess it was on that first call, the offensive foul call off the ball.
And Joakim Noah picked that up. If you saw Flip Saunders talking to his team, they missed 2 18-foot jump shots. Boys is more like 20 plus. And on the road, you don't want to start off like that on the road, especially against a team who played last night.
Washington, Tom Washington, Eric Lewis, and Leroy Richardson are the officials tonight. There's Stevenson driving, he left that short.
But Joakim got a piece of that on the block.
Noah wheeling and then kicking it back. The Wall, who was hot last night, starts off that way tonight as he bounces one off the rim and good.
Well, hot's the understatement. He was in fuego. He had that little 20-foot mid-range jump shot going. That gave Paul Pierce fits.
He outdueled Pierce last night as the Bulls beat the Celtics in Boston. There's Jamison, he is so clever when he gets down along the block on either side.
This is a tough matchup for Taj. You're really going to test him on the defensive end because Jamison can shoot the basketball as well as put it on the floor.
6-2 Bulls as Rose nails a perimeter shot.
We talked about this game being really important for the Bulls as they get ready to go on that West Coast trip. Going to go out there with some momentum. Very similar to the first time the Bulls went on that trip. They were 6-4.
Butler long with his first shot. Bulls cruise control here early. Good ball movement. Heinrich.
That's nice. One side of the court to the other, make the extra pass, force Washington to have to get out and cover. They had no one over there on Kirk on that extra pass. He was wide open.
9-2. Bulls with a fast start. Haywood as they went inside out. And there is Deshaun Stevenson. He pours in a 3. So each team with a home run ball.
You see right there, they put Deshaun Stevenson, a bigger guard on Derrick Rose.
And Stevenson, when he wants to, can be a willing defender. And there's the dunk off a nice feed from Jamison to Haywood.
That's what happens right there when you're guarding Jamison. He puts so much pressure on you because he can put the ball on the floor from 18 to 20 feet to get to the basket.
The ball, that was partially blocked and picked out of the air by Haywood. Caron Butler, and nothing but net that time.
Washington now has come down and hit the last 3 shots.
You remember the year that Caron Butler had a year ago. I mean, he was absolutely spectacular. And then there's Kurt for 3, and Jamison aboard.
Well, you see Washington right now trying to close down the Bulls' dribble weave set. Basically making sure there's help defenders.
Shot kind of blocked on the way in, and the ball out of bounds. It's going to go to the Bulls. I'm not sure if it was the right call or not, but the Bulls will take it.
And I think right now what you're looking at early to see how much energy the Bulls have here in this first quarter. They really got after Boston last night in Boston. Back-to-backs this year, 1-7 in back-to-back games. So interesting to see how they play. Being probably count on his bench a little bit more.
Shot missed, and then Joe King back up.
There you go. Just outworking Haywood right there for that rebound. That was great hustle by Joakim Noah as he just fought for this offensive rebound. Keep an eye on Joakim. Great box out, and then he just gets good position inside on Haywood, and there's the push right there by Jamison. And he just keeps working, never stops working. He sees the ball come off the glass, uses his length and his size, and again, just outworking the opposition for that rebound.
Corkscrews that free throw up there and good. 3-point play and a 3-point lead. Randy Foye. There's Jamison. A little jump hook, no. Chip Haywood won't go. And then the shot back up and good.
Yeah, Jamison so quick off the floor. Doesn't get a lot of elevation, but he's so quick.
We talked about the arena situation, the suspension, and then there, as Steinberg knocks in the jumper, they're also missing Mike Miller, who they acquired along with Foye in the offseason. And a lot of people thought that those 2 additions were going to make this a team that could make a serious run at the playoffs. But so far, that hasn't been the case. Late whistle, but Jamison hit on the arm will go to the line.
Well, Mike Miller's had a history of being injured and missing games during the season. So, you know, when the season first started, they were so optimistic about this team going back to the playoffs. They got all these pieces back. When you go early in the season, Jamison's shoulder got hurt. He was out. Butler was bothered by ankle injury. He was out. So they haven't all been together on the same floor. But
and Arenas was coming back
exactly.
off his knee surgery.
So, I mean, they haven't had their main guys in the lineup together but few games. So you can see why they're struggling right now. But they have a lot of talent on that team. I mean, you know, Haywood is playing better this year. They've got, you know, the kid JaVale McGee, who I think is an underrated center. Just needs some playing time. Foy's a nice point guard.
And the other thing too, Stacy, is that Flip Saunders runs kind of a. You've got to pay attention to his offense if you're going to play in it. Throws a miss, and then the rebound tracked down. And some think that this group of players in Washington has had trouble adjusting and finding a way to acclimate themselves to his offense.
Well, it's a little surprising, too, because his offense is a lot less structured than what, you know, Eddie Jordan's offense, that Princeton offense. This offense gives you a little bit more freedom to dribble, drive, swing, wide open shots. I mean, it's a lot more freedom in this offense compared to Eddie Jordan's offense.
And a timeout taken and charged to the Bulls, 16-13. The Bulls by 3 with 5:52 remaining here in the first quarter. Game Aden B. Noah C. Rose. Just text ABRC to 97999 and watch for the results at halftime. Who do you think makes these questions up?
You know what? I couldn't tell you right now.
Because they obviously spent quite a bit of time.
Yeah, that probably took all day to figure out that question. Who do you think that was? What's your thought process? Is it like some little monkey that's they have behind the scenes doing this? He's picking little ping pong balls.
That's something we ought to really give some thought to.
I think we need to find out who it is doing this.
Gibson's miss. And the Wizards, down by 3, go to work.
Well, this is going to be one of those games where the Bulls are going to have to grind this one out.
Boy, he just blew right on in. Right down the boulevard and laid that over the front of the rim.
Well, he's not a bad guard. I mean, he's more of a scoring guard, but he's a very strong guard, as you saw right there, as he's able to get to the basket off a drive. But they really like him.
Thought he had some upside in Minnesota. Came out of Villanova. There's Rose from outside. Heel of the rim, heavy, long rebound. Stevenson.
Well, they're going to give Derek that shot right there. They don't want him to get that mid-range jump shot inside the free throw line where he likes to dribble, drive, and pull up inside the free throw line. But anything outside of 18 feet, you saw right there, Stevenson just backs off and dares him to shoot it, and then contests as it goes up.
Comes Tyrus Thomas on early as Gibson will sit down. And Vinny obviously looking to try to energize his team, get them going. As Stacy pointed out, they played last night. Wizards were off.
Well, and you're coming off an emotional win in Boston where the last 2 times you struggled big time, have been blown out. And it put a lot of energy in last night. And you come back down, you have to play a team like Washington who's struggling. You know, maybe you don't get up as much if this was, say, Cleveland or, you know, Los Angeles Lakers, but you've got to find a way to grind this one out, and that's why the bench is going to be important tonight.
Trap game?
Yes, a trap game. That's a good observation by you, Funkster.
Well, I was just trying to go with that. I know how you feel about some of these games, that you're supposed to win, but maybe you're taking a team lightly, and hence you don't really come ready, and sometimes by the time you do get ready, it's too late.
Well, we've seen a few of those this year, but this is a team that you can't take lightly. I mean, even though they've been struggling without Arenas, and they were struggling with Arenas, but still, there's 2 all-star caliber players on this team that you have to contend with.
Dang, boy, he's just got some kind of rhythm going. That was a shot that was defended, but he knocked it in anyway. 18-17, Bulls by 1.
Well, Luau was playing like we saw him a couple of years ago when he really went on that tear where pretty much anything he shot looked like it was going in. I still like to see him get to the foul line a little bit more, not rely so much on the jump shots, but you know, he's going in, so I mean, whatever he's doing it for real.
Salmons from outside, a miss, and the Wizards come on the run. That was close to being a loose ball foul on Noah, but the official let it go as he came in trying to rebound that ball against 2 of the Wizards players. And there's the layup inside. Nicely run.
But there was no backside help right there. Tyrus got caught on the top side of Haywood. That was a nice pass by Stevens over the top.
Against Caron Butler. Knocked away by Butler, who poked it away again. Knocked it away again. Then got it back, and then a whistle and a foul.
Sooner or later, they were going to call that foul on Butler. He had good defense, the initial pressure on the ball. And here it is right here. Good one-on-one matchup. Butler's a good defender. And you see right there, he's making Luau work.
Now he's got a, he had him kind of, that's kind of a silly foul at the end there because he had him in an off-balance and precarious position.
With the shot clock winding down, and you just bailed him out right there. But again, Luau being aggressive.
Miller comes in, Noah comes out.
But again, the Bulls, with the way they played last night, out-hustled Boston. They beat them to loose balls, had 15 offensive rebounds. I mean, just completely just outplayed Boston, especially jumped on them early in that first quarter and really never let Boston get back into a rhythm. And they've done that this year, especially against the good teams. They've come out and they've played well. And that's something now that you hope they win tonight, they can carry over into this West Coast trip because there's no easy games in that West Coast trip.
Boy, loose and the runner, no. Tapping Haywood, no. And then Salmons picked it up. Foy got a good look. Here's Deng again. Not that time.
One thing about this Wizard team, they're very scrappy.
Now, they got their 2 stars, and you saw one just poke one in right there. Jamison and Butler are tough guys. I mean, they're physically tough. Rose fouled on his way in, but first to timeout. 22-19. Wizards by 3 with 2.5 left to play in the first period. We'll be right back.
Look at some over-the-top play right here on Washington's offense. Go ahead and roll it. Now, as the ball's coming off on a screen roll, now freeze it right now. Keep an eye on Haywood right now. He's going to start working for position. Go ahead and roll it. Tyrus is on him. Now, they switch. Now, Tyrus now freeze it right now. Now he's in a bad position right here. He's over the top. Go ahead and roll it. Throws it over the top to Haywood, who's much bigger and probably outweighs Tyrus by about 50, 60 pounds. And that's just an easy pass right there to go over the top for an easy layup for Haywood. And that's our Harris, Bank Telestrator. We're here to help. Remember, FDIC. You like that, didn't you, Neil? I said that.
I did. Even if you needed a cue card.
See, this is Be Kind to Neil Funk Month. I'm not gonna get trapped into this. I told you that last game. Be Kind to Neil Funk Month. I'm not saying anything bad about you until February 1st. Sweet. Okay. And I'm really close though. You're really close to dragging me back into the gutter.
My peeps are enjoying it.
Okay. That's why I'm not doing it. It's Be Kind to Neil month.
I noticed you deserve it. You picked the shortest month of the year.
Exactly. That's why I did it.
And Foy a miss, and Miller gobbles up the rebound. Right now, Miller and Thomas. And James Johnson with Salmons and Rhodes. Miller the drive, and it wouldn't spin in. You know, it was amazing. Stacey, were watching the game on TNT last night, and Miller didn't make any difference with Boston. It was a really solid defensive team with a lot of veteran players. Little fake from 16 feet, raise the guy up, drive by him to the basket.
I tell you what, again, as much as the NBA is scouted, send scouts to watch teams, if I was coaching a team and any of my players went for that fake, I wish I had one of those little dog collars you put on those invisible fencing. When they get beat, you just shock them. Just shock them.
Because Brad, unless the guy, unless there's some space between him and the defender, isn't going to catch it, raise up and shoot it. He is always going to give you that little fake.
Well, and again, that's set up because he's such a good shooter for a center that he can knock down three-point shots. We've seen him do that since he's been here. But he can knock down shots. It forces you to have to get up on him, and then they run him off the shot, and he's able to get all the way to the basket.
And that's going to count as James Johnson got up there and touched the rim. So Caron Butler, a dribble drive as he got a shoulder by Thomas.
Well, the Bulls have got to do a better job of really cutting down the lanes right now. If you look at a guy like Caron Butler, he's going to look to put the ball on the floor. And then you see Washington now going into a 2-3 zone.
And stepping out of bounds is James Johnson.
Checking in for Washington, number 1, Young.
And see, when you go into this zone, this is a situation that Washington is going to force the Bulls to shoot outside jump shots. They've done that a few times. We've seen them. We've played them.
And Stevenson goes to the bench as Butler misses, and they wrestle for the ball. It's going to belong to the Wizards.
That's a deadly screen roll combination. You had Caron Butler with the basketball, and you had Antoine Jamison setting the screen. It's between the small forward and power forward. That's a tough matchup for anybody.
Nick Young into the game. You got Stevenson. Foy a drive and nowhere to go. Back to Stevenson. Butler, long distance. Well, tapped out of there, and James Johnson saved the day.
Well, right there, you saw Nick Young not even hustle for that basketball right there. James Johnson came back into the screen to get that ball. Nick Young's got to hustle for that basketball.
Oberto against Miller. Made him alter the shot enough, and a whistle, and what do we got here?
They're going to call on Brad Miller.
That's they were tangled up.
Brad Miller, his first team foul.
Now watch this, right?
Checking in for the Wizards, number 12.
There.
Berto's a little acting right there, isn't he? I mean, he just ran up under Brad's arm.
And almost strangled himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Boykins into the game. Jamison heel of the rim heavy. And Oberto over the back and a loose ball foul call as he climbed up the back of Miller. And look at Miller and Boykins walking in mid-court. That's some sight there. Brad going, hey, little guy, good to see you back in the league. I always liked watching Boykins play, and he had some terrific years in this league.
Well, you know what? He's played well for them here. I mean, he's given some nice games coming off the bench. And, again, I mean, don't let the size fool you.
Well, you want to walk out and just pat him on the head and say, son, you're young to be.
Well, he plays a lot bigger than what he is.
Oh, yes, he does.
His size, don't let that size fool you. It just goes to show any kids out there that are aspiring to be basketball players, it's great to be big and tall, but hey, look at Earl Boykins. There's a place for you in this league. Play with a lot of heart, intensity, to be here.
Heinrich, with 7 seconds, races to his right, got a shot for good. Took that right to the chest of Oberto. Caron Butler. He throws one at the horn and missed it. 26-24. The Bulls by 2 as we have played a quarter. Heinrich big in that first period. To assist, you can text HAITI to 90999, and that will make a $10 donation to Red Cross to help with relief efforts. It will be billed to your cell phone, and then on February 2nd, the Bulls are back here at the United Center. The Bulls are going to hold an emergency relief drive, and prior to the tip-off of that game against the Clippers, fans encouraged to bring non-perishable food items, blankets, towels, and clothing to any United Center admission gate. And the Bulls, with a 2-point lead at the end of a quarter, the Bulls shooting 43% and the Wizards just 36%, yet the Wizards are within 2. Bulls also did a nice job of getting to the line, 7 of 9 in the first quarter.
That's a good sign. They're attacking this team off the dribble. They keep an eye on Block. She comes in, very versatile young forward.
And there's Butler. He left it short and then back up and good.
It's a nice pass by Andre Block. It's a guy that comes in the game. He can play center, power forward, small forward. Real versatile.
James Johnson spinning out. Nick Young the rebound. Heinrich with 9 to lead the Bulls in scoring. 9 for Jamison to lead the Wizards. And there's a block foul on the young rookie.
James Johnson, second team foul. Luol Deng checks back in.
Commits the foul. JJ comes out. Luol checks back in. Deng 2 for 5. So started out knocking down shots, but then cooled a bit.
Well, they brought him also back in because you don't want Caron Butler to start getting hot. You know, he's 3 for 10. He's got 8 points. Both him and Jameson, 17 points.
Here he is again. Missed that. The ball tipped out, and that's going to belong to the Bulls. Yeah, Butler has really struggled, as we documented so far this season to this point. And they need him to play well alongside Jamison if they're going to make any kind of a wave here in the East. Miller and a whistle and traveling as he came to a stop. Miller walks. .26 tie. Boykins against Heinrich. Oh, what a shot by Blotch.
Wow.
Just kind of falling away.
Turnaround fadeaway going away from the basket. He thought he would have the mismatch on Miller.
And then he commits a foul, so he kind of compounds things. A terrible shot at one end and a foul at the other.
Well, again, he has so much talent, but it's sometimes frustrating because when you look at some of the things he's able to do, you know, and then you see that shot he just took right there. You don't mind him taking shots, but as long as they're in the flow of the offense, I mean, the kid can score and rebound. And, you know, Fritz Saunders would like to see him do more.
Boykins stand back, Blotch, and then a whistle and a foul as he tried to deliver a pass.
Buckholland John Salmons, his first third team foul. Andre Blotch, 2 shots.
They're going to say he was in the act of shooting. I don't buy that. Yeah, I don't either. And this is the free throw anyway. Fans enjoy fast-paced NBA action and non-stop entertainment with the Bulls. For tickets starting at only $10, visit bulls.com or call 1-800-4NBA-TICKS. For season tickets and group discounts, 312-455-4000. Blotch splits a pair, and the Wizards lead by 1.
They've kind of gone back to the zone now.
Miller right in the middle of it, but hit on the arm as he shot.
See, that's a silly foul right there. I mean, you got a guy like Miller, you want to give him that shot. It's contested, especially in the zone. You saw where Brad Miller attacked that zone, that 2-3 zone, right in the heart of the lane. He was able to get a nice attempt at the basket, but no need to foul him.
Miller 4 of 5 already, Stacy, from the line, so he's been aggressive.
Well, the Bulls, again, just after playing last night, kind of expected them to come out just a little slow. But they're starting to figure out this Wizards team now, really cutting down the one-on-one.
Boykins. Shoot. Boykins, oh, he just looped that up there. I think he was hoping that one of his bigs would see it coming. Miller shot, no, and he's going to go back to the line.
Big Brad was going coast to coast. He saw that he had Boykins on him, and it was like an avalanche. He just overran that little fella. It was like a little flea on him as he was coming down. Now watch, keep an eye on Boykins. He realizes Boykins is on him right now, and he's like, oh, get off me, little fella.
And then Blotch came sailing out of nowhere trying to help on the play and committed his second foul.
That was a smart play by Brad. Again, just recognizing who was on him in transition. You know, normally you don't want your big guy dribbling the basketball, but Brad does have some dribbling skills. And he just basically just overran little Earl Boykins.
Miller now 7 of 8 from the free throw line. He's got more than half of the Bulls' free throws.
Well, he's come off and given him a big lift, too. He's only played 6 minutes. He got 7 points.
7 points without a field goal. Let's see if Washington. There's a tough shot. That won't go. Boy, they do take some bad shots. And another foul, that's on Blotch. I don't think Andre wanted to play.
Well, it just seems like he's not coming out there with any kind of energy. And again, you know, if you're not going to play, then you got to sit down. And 3 personal fouls here in the second quarter.
I would say the same about Nick Young. He just looked like he had no interest in what was going on.
Well, you never know what's going on that side of the other teams. I mean, you know, they had Young in the starting lineup on the paper, but he wasn't in the lineup when he started the game.
Derrick Rose scores, and now the Bulls by 5. Their biggest lead was 7 back in the first quarter. And Washington came back to get the lead.
Well, Flip Saunders is going back to his starters now.
Stevenson dropped in, backing Haywood. He goes up and scores. Nice power move by Brendan Haywood.
Well, going into this season, I thought if he could stay healthy with what they acquired in the offseason, I thought that would be really huge for them.
Caron Butler with a rebound and then with a push himself. Now has Rose on him, takes the smaller player into the lane and scores. Good recognition by Butler.
See, this is a group that got him off to a good start, and Flip Saunders decided, hey, I better go back to these guys. My bench is coming out with no energy.
Salmons, now Dang, open from 18.
See, that's what happens when you're in that 2-3 zone. The rotation from a guy who's supposed to be there. Caron Butler was supposed to be there, but he was so far down below the free throw line. The ball was wide open.
You see Flip out to greet his players as they come over for the timeout. 34-31. The Bulls by 3 with 7:33 left to play in the first half here at the United Center.
Sometimes you can get away with running that zone in stretches, but that's not something you want to have as a go-to defense at the pro level.
Boy, he hangs and fires. That's way off target. Again, sometimes you're just not very selective in the shots they take.
They take a lot of quick shots.
Yeah, that one could. I mean, you could have gotten something better than that for sure. Here's Salmons, that misses, and the rebound for Jamison, and Vinny not happy with that shot.
But you don't want to bail this team out. When they come down and take a bad shot like Foy just did, you want to come back on the other end and punish them.
It was back tapped out of there after the miss by Jamison. Caron Butler. Haywood. Jamison again in a miss, so he misses twice in the same series. Thomas, partially blocked. Joakim back up and good. Well, he was quick back to the board. Joakim Noah was. He made him pay, and the lead is 5.
Well, Haywood got away with a foul on Salmons right there, and then got away with a push on Noah.
One-on-one, Caron Butler scores, though. And they do have a tendency to do that.
Well, they've got the players to go one-on-one, but again, when you're struggling like they are offensively, they're much better when they get some movement. They're setting pick and rolls, and they're finding the right guys in the right spots.
I'm wondering if Butler and Jamison maybe don't trust their other teammates as much as they might. Foy hesitated to shoot and left it way short. Again, maybe that's why.
Well, exactly. You're a guy like Gilbert Arenas that can basically create his own shot. You're missing that element in your offense. Foy's not Arenas. He's a solid guard, but he's not Gilbert Arenas. And Gilbert Arenas puts so much pressure on your defense off his pick and roll.
That's way short. That was like a knuckleball that Stevenson put up there. Now Jamison again, and he bangs that one down out of the right corner.
See, you have to respect Gilbert Arenas off that pick and roll because he does such a good job of in and out of that pick and roll, forces you to have to collapse on him, and then he finds the open shooters, and that's how Jamison and Butler really survived having him out there.
He was one of my favorite guys to watch play in the NBA, and it's regrettable what happened, but Gilbert brought that on himself. So 4:47 left and a timeout taken. Bulls 36, Wizards 35 here in the second period.
Back for only $25. Get a Bulls ticket along with a jumbo hot dog, bag of potato chips, and a 16-ounce soft drink. That's a $50 value for only $25. To get a family value pack for select game, visit bulls.com/family. That's bulls.com/family.
look at Eric Waters, who's the trainer now in Washington and used to be an assistant here in Chicago.
Seeing guys moving to bigger and better things. Guys who are assistants here now are head guys, and it's good to see the Bulls family members are prospering. The Bulls doing a good job. I mean, both teams are not shooting the ball particularly well, but the Bulls are holding Washington to 35%.
A drive by Rose and a reach-in foul.
Bulls are cold this quarter. You know, they're shooting 30%, 3 of 10 in this quarter.
Well, here's the difference, though, so far in the game. The Bulls have been to the line now with that free throw 14 times, while the Wizards have been there just 6. So you can see that Washington's settling for more perimeter shots, and the Bulls at least making an effort to get to the free throw line, although, in fairness, 8 of those 14, now 15 free throws, have come from Brad Miller.
Exactly.
Away, and he collided with Taj Gibson, and Gibson will collect a foul.
That's 2 on Taj Gibson right now.
Gang knocked that away. Jamison tried to force feed Caron Butler. 10 to shoot. 4.5 to play in the half. Foy. That's going to be short.
Well, you see Butler had the first shot, and he had to look down to see if he's behind the line. And that right there, whenever you have to do that, you might as well pass the basketball. You got to look down at the line to see if you're behind the line. I mean, it was a catch-and-shoot situation, and he looked down at the line to make sure he was behind the three-point line and then shot that basketball. If you got to do that, that's when you just got to pass the ball. Because you saw he was well short with that one, too.
Rose blows in, dished it, intended for Noah. He had it deflected off the glass. And here comes Butler. He bangs into traffic on an offensive foul on Caron Butler.
That's good
defense by
Lou Aldain. That was good anticipation right there. He saw Butler. You could probably see it in his eyes. He was going to go to the basket on this, and Lou Al just beat him to the spot. Gave up his body. And again, another turnover.
Back in that zone. There's Gibson. That's one way to beat it.
That's the open spot right there. Is that elbow in the middle between the free throw line extended. The Bulls can flash a guy in there. That's open all night long.
Jamison from distance and bangs that down. 39-38. Bulls with the lead, but they haven't been able to shake or rattle the Wizards. Oh, Gibson, what a wheeling, spinning move and a finish.
Man, he just went right by Jamison right there with the spin cycle. And was able to finish strong. Taj has shown the ability to score on the block, but they've given him opportunities.
Here's Butler, and he rattles down a 3 out of the right corner. And they keep hanging in, tied at 41.
Well, that's their 10th three-pointer of the game. They're 4 for 10. So they're not shy about taking this three-point shot.
There's Joakim, short, and the rebound, Jamison. Andy Foy, the crossover, and the layup is good. Nice drive by Foy.
That was good recognition by Randy Foy. He saw when he went to go for the screen roll, the Bulls' big guys jumped top side, which really opened up a lane for him to drive. That was an easy bucket.
Timeout taken by Benny Del Negro. 43-41. The Wizards, down 7 at one point, have battled back to take the lead here with 2:24 left to play in the half. Fans, visit bulls.com/plans to get a new 3-game ticket plan. With a 3-game plan, you get great seats at very affordable prices and pick the games you want to see. So to create your own 3-game plan, visit bulls.com/plans today. Bulls down 43-41 after a couple of three-pointers by the Wizards. And the Wizards stay in that zone. Jumper Heinrich, that won't go, but Taj is there. Now Noah, and he collides with a Wizard. That was Haywood, and the foul is on Haywood. Well, that's his first.
That's another thing that this zone really causes problems when you're in it, is it's tough to rebound out of because you've got your big guys out of position trying to cover out on guys. When that shot goes up, if the Bulls continue to crash the boards, they're going to kill this zone and get Washington out of it. But as long as they can keep you on the perimeter and you're missing jump shots and they can rebound out of it, you know, this is a good defense to be in. But you don't see a lot of NBA teams really utilizing the zone. You see teams use it maybe a couple of minutes in a quarter just to give their guys a rest, especially if they play back-to-back nights. You'll see a team do that, or 4 and 5 nights. You'll see teams go to a zone.
Noah with a couple of free throws. Joakim with 7 points in the game. Here's Haywood. He just jackhammers that down.
That was a nice play right there. It looked like they were going to run a screen roll. They swung the ball quick back to the strong side, and they caught a diving Haywood to the basket for an easy dunk.
Thank you very much as Rose misses at point-blank range, and Butler flipped inside, and a foul as Jamison had one right at the rim.
Well, he did a good job right there, sealing Taj Gibson on his back. And again, that's the one that the rookie, he'll learn from. But that's the one where you got to start doing your work before he's able to get post position. Here it is right here. He just dove straight to the basket, and he sealed him. And then he had to go over the top to foul him, but that's a crafty veteran right there. Jamison missed the first free throw.
Gibson comes out. Taj with his third foul. Well, Tyrus checks in. The Bulls tonight, Brad Miller with 7 points, and that's the extent of the scoring off the bench.
Well, Tyrus picking up that third foul. Then he was going to play with him, and he had to pick up his second when he came in the second quarter. And he had to take him out now. He's got that third foul, and that's been one of the things that's hampered Taj a little bit, is picking up those little silly fouls.
Wizards by 3 as the Bulls operate. Noah fumbled it and then got it back. Dang, the drive and the runner is good. A busted play, but he made something out of it. Outside, and Jamison miss and a rebound to Haywood. Now they're going to get to do it again with a reloaded shot clock. 38 seconds left to play in the half. Foy, fan to the right side, driving Jamison, and he scores. Well, I told you he's clever.
There's no excuse for that. He was able to get that ball and go from 20 feet away. Someone's got to stop him and realize on the rotation who you're rotating out to.
Rose circling, hangs, fires, scores.
Well, if he gets it inside that free throw line, you can forget and book it. That's 2 points. As you saw, Stevenson got hung up on the screen and allow him to turn the corner and pull up. Again, inside that free throw line, Derrick Rose is deadly.
Last shot possession for the Wizards. Foy, Jamison running in. That's blocked, picked up by Jamison, and he's fouled. They're going to get bailed out here.
That was good defense right there by the Bulls, as they were sending out an invitation to a block party as Dominic McGuire goes in here, doesn't realize that, hey, you better go in there strong or you can get that sent back to the third row. And then Derrick runs into Jamison right there and now sends him to the foul line. I know Derrick's upset about that, but Again, good defense by the Bulls. That was a better job of closing out dribble penetration.
Derek was upset because they both arrived at the ball at about the same time, and he gets the foul.
Well, again, Butler and Jamison. Butler's got 15 points. Jamison's got 17. He's already missed a couple of free throws.
And the Bulls are going to get a 20-second timeout here with 1 1/10 left. During every Bulls game, visit the WGN Sports Game Zone, brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Go to WGNTV.com, click on the WGN Sports Game Zone for blogs and up-to-the-minute stats. The Bulls Game Zone powered by Dunkin' Donuts, where you can try the new everyday value menu for only 99 cents for a limited time. America saves on Dunkin'. About that, Stacey, a whole menu for 99 cents.
Oh, my goodness.
That's strong.
Oh, it's very strong.
Are you, this is where your blog is, right?
Oh, yes. You got to come on WGN. Go to WGN. You get to see both me and Neil's blog. There it is right there on the bottom frame. Go to WGNTV.com and click on Bullseye's blog, and you'll see Neil's lovely face, and you'll see my face. And then you can text questions. You can ask me anything that you want. Ask Neil anything he wants.
Do you need a computer to do that?
Yeah, you need a computer.
Oh, okay.
You can't do it out of computer.
I can't do it all like on my cell phone.
And you can't pay anybody to answer your questions. See, I do mine. I answer all my questions.
You do?
Yes, because I'm computer literate. I can get on the computer, that kind of thing. I know it's a little bit too fast for you, but if you need some help, let me know.
Jamison missed 2 free throws, and that'll end the half. So they had an opportunity to take a 3-point lead. Couldn't do it. 48-47, but Antoine Jamison, 17 points, 10 rebounds. He led the Wizards to the lead.